Hi everybody, welcome back, welcome back. So last week I created this beautiful dashboard based on an Excel sheet. And in this dashboard, we could change the type of animal and see this strip plot and histogram change according to the drop-down choice chosen by the user. Now this was built off an Excel sheet from this website, and you could export or import this Excel sheet and have that dashboard. However, like I promised, in this tutorial, I want to show you how to do this with an API. So we're going to connect this dashboard to the website's API. Specifically, this is Socrata Open Data API. So we can click on this and we'll see the API information here. And once the dashboard is connected to the API, it's going to save us a big headache and a lot of time, because instead of downloading, exporting, downloading, and uploading the Excel sheet to the web and to our dashboard, all we have to do is connect the API to the code here of the dashboard, and then just have it every couple of seconds or maybe once a day extract all the data from the online database and update your dashboard. So let's see how we do this. Let's do this together. Going to my GitHub, going to this Python file. I'm going to put the link under the video, and you can download all this. Download this whole file. It's 114 lines of code, and let's do this together. Okay, so here's the file that we have, what I asked you to download, and I'm not going to go over everything because we did most of this last week. But if you don't have these libraries, you have to install them in your computer. Dash probably 5.2 for at least another week, and then pandas, and install Sodapy. I think that's how you say it. Sodapy is a Python wrapper for open data, Socrata open data. So this allows you to connect to the Socrata open data API. You see, I'm going to have this link under the video as well if you want to read more about it, but all you have to do is pip install Sodapy. So install that, and then I have some links here for information if you want. And now we have to connect to our API. All right, so as you can see here, we need a token. We need a token, so we need to open up an API account and then get this token. So let's do exactly that. Go into this link under the video. This is the City of Dallas website, and this is connected to Socrata Open API. It's connected to this, so there's a lot of data that we can extract here. And let's sign up to create our API account. So we're going to go into tutorial email 2, and then we're going to do the password. Oh, this actually is sign in, so that doesn't make any sense. We want to sign up. This is a new new user, tutorial email 2. We'll call it Adam2. Password doesn't really matter, anything you want. Not a robot. Create my account. So now it's going to send me an email to verify my email address, which is here. Confirm your email address. Success. Let's sign in. So now we're inside our accept the license agreement. And now we're just going to, there's a lot of things you can do with this API, but what we need to do is simply create the token. So let's see right here, 1 second. Whoops, not that. Okay, so actually we need to go to my profile. We'll do edit profile, and then we go into developer setting. And then here, you can create new API key. You might need this for other things, but for now, it's sufficient to just create new app token. Do that. We'll call the app name project2. Description, this is the coolest Project in the world, of course. Organization, we'll call it my org 2. Website, none. I think this should be enough. I'm not going to click public. You can click public if you want. All right, let's call it project 3 then. Save. All right, let's give it a unique name. Adam project 3. All right, so now here's our token. So this is what you want to take, and you want to copy paste it inside this code right here. So we have our new token here, and now that we have our token, we're done. We can connect to this part. Actually, we need the Socrata domain. So in this case, look at this right here. In this case, our information comes from this website, the City of Dallas, which is right here. So I just copy pasted this initial part right here to this Socrata domain, right? Because this is part of the Socrata Open Socrata website. And then we need the Socrata dataset identifier also. And this is actually like the project name. And so this is going to be always right here at the end, or it's going to be right here if you click on if this is the data set where I downloaded the Excel sheet last tutorial, just go to API and you'll see here at the very end, this is the same code or same project code, right? The same one as this. So just copy paste that and put it inside of here all together. And then you can actually connect to create a client object, connect into the Socrata API, and then you want to pull the data from the API. So you do client.get and then put the Socrata dataset identifier, which is you're identifying the dataset that you want to pull information from. We'll call it results, and then we put everything into a pandas data frame. And just to show you that it works, here I did I'm just playing around with the column. I'm changing the column type, and I did this in the last tutorial as well, so very simple. And then I'm printing out the head. So let's print that out and see what happens. To show you that it actually connected successfully, you can see here that it printed out the first 5 rows of this data set. Isn't that cool? So you see, we got this from the API instead of getting it from Excel sheet CSV like I did last time. I put this Excel sheet on GitHub and then I'm reading the information from Excel sheet. Now I'm just getting everything from the API. And you don't have to do only this data set. You can print out other data sets as well, or you can use other data sets. For example, this is a Socrata website, opensocrata.com. And I'm going to put this under the video as well. And let's say you want to see City of Trenton data set, right? And there's millions of data sets here. It's a really great website with a lot of data. So just look at this is the website, opensocrata.com. So we'll just plug that in there. And then this is the code for the project or the data set, which is the same as this. Right here, you see? Exactly the same. So we'll copy that, we'll put this in here. And we can use the same token, and let's just hashtag this out because we don't need this. Call the data, connect to the API, call the get data from the data set, from this data set, put everything into a pandas data frame and then print it out. So let's see. The data is supposed to look something like this. Block, lotto, quality, blah, 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 blah. And you have here block, lotto, and these are the last columns, add, lots, and qual code, which you can see here is the case. More to the right. So anyway, this is exactly the same data set that we just downloaded. Give you one last example. Let's do this one. Let's go to music sales data. And here we'll take, it's the same website, open date Socrata. We'll just take this data set, copy paste, save, run, and now we'll see this year and physical sales. That's the only 2 columns that exist there, year and physical sales. So this is really cool because it allows us to to connect to a database online and automatically every day or so update our dashboard instead of having to download an Excel sheet and upload the Excel sheet into our dashboard. Now let's see how we actually do that. How do we connect the API so there's an interval and it updates the database, the app every couple of hours or once a day. Let's close this and close this for now. All right, so open this code again, and we're going to have to X this out because all of this here from 26 to 18, just hashtag this out and leave this. This should be the last line of code. 15, client Socrata, we're connected to the API with our token. That happens once when we upload, when we load the app, and hashtag all this back into the game, row 28 all the way to row 110. Save it. Whoops. Save it. And now you're going to see, I'm going to show you what I'm doing here, but you're going to see that every 7 seconds this dashboard is going to update itself. So let's load it. Run. You'll see first time is a bit slower. You'll see here in 7 seconds it's going to update again. 2, 3, updating again, so updating data again. So let's change it to cat and see different information here. And then you see in about 3 seconds it's going to update the data again. You see, so every 7 seconds it's updating the data. Now in this case, Dallas website here only updates, you can read it here, it says only updates daily, once a day. So you don't need to do this every 7 seconds. You can do this every 24 hours. And every 24 hours, if the user has this app open, it will automatically refresh the data and put the most updated information inside this dashboard that you have online that you're sharing with your friends or your colleagues or your coworkers. All right, so let's stop this for now, and let's see exactly how we're doing this with the code, because it's a little bit different than what we had in the code last week. Here, I'm going to put suppress callback exceptions because you need to do this because it's a bit difficult to explain right now, but in short, we're going to create a drop-down inside of the callback. So the drop-down is not here anymore. It's not in the layout. It's in the callback. So, and we're going to refer to this drop-down from this callback down here. So we have to use this information here to make this true. And then we have our layout, and the layout is exactly the same, like, well, similar to what we have last tutorial that you can see above here. And here you have the title, the choose animal interest right here, choose animal interest, and that's it. There is no more. Let me stop this for a sec so it not keeps on running. Okay, there is no more. This is where it ends. There is no more to the layout. You'll see an empty div here. There's an empty children, and here's where we're going to put our drop down, and then here, like last week in the tutorial, is where we're going to put all the graphs. Okay, and we're going to do that. This is the most important part. We're going to do that with the interval and the store. So what are the intervals in the store? The DCC store is a dash core component. Interval, sorry. This is the interval, is a dash core component, which is just like a timer. Every couple of seconds, I say every 7 seconds, but I can say every 60 seconds, like 1 minute, or 60 times 5 is 300. So every 5 minutes, I can say just increase this by 1. So when the app loads, it's 0. After 5 minutes, this is 1. After 10 minutes, this is 2. 15 minutes, this is 3, and so on, right? So I'm going to take this interval and I'm going to use it to activate the callback. So you see here, I'm taking the timer, the ID of this interval, and I'm saying take the n intervals, like take the component property n intervals of this component, and every time, put this here, this is the argument inside the callback function. Remember, if you have one component property input, then you need one argument. If you have two, then you need two. So take this, which right now is 0, and every time this increases or changes, trigger the callback. Activate this and return something, right? So if this, when this becomes, when the app first loads, this is 0, the function is triggered. When this, after 5 minutes, 1000 milliseconds times 300 seconds is 5 minutes. When this changes to 1, then this is triggered again. After 10 minutes, this changes to 2, and this function is triggered again. And every time the function is triggered, it returns, let's put this back to n. Every time the function is triggered, it returns 2 objects. It returns a pandas, a dictionary, and a DCC dropdown. So the dictionary goes into the first component property of the output, and the DCC dropdown goes into the second component property of the second output. All right. So look what we're doing here. After 5 minutes, this callback is activated for the second time. It's calling, it's getting the data from the API. Remember, this is the data right here. We connected to the API. It was this code that we hashtagged out. It's connecting to the data from the API. It's turn it into a pandas data frame. And then we're just changing some columns here, some playing around with information a little bit. So it's integer instead of string, and so on and so on. And then I'm returning this I'm putting this data frame into a dictionary and returning this into the data component property or prop of the stored component. So it's returned right here. Store component, it's returning here. All right. So this is like saying, take all this and return this right here, like that. That's what it's doing. And this DCC store is data that it's a component that allows you to store data on the clients, on the app user's web browser, up to like 2 or 3 megabytes. You don't want to store too much. Store that data so then you can use later. You can use later for in different callbacks or in different pages on your website, on your Dash app. You can use it for different things. So we're storing this data as a dictionary into the store component on the client's web browser, and then the dropdown, the DCC dropdown, we're storing the whole component with values and options and everything into the children of this div. So it's going to be inside of here. Where is it? Right here. This is where a dropdown goes, right? And this, because it's in 2 columns in 1 row, the first row is going to go right here in 2 columns. So after we put that in there, now the second callback, the first callback gets activated, and then the second callback is activated once the data is refreshed, right? Or once the animal type, the value of animal type is actually chosen or changed. So what is this value? The value of animal type is this right here. This is the ID, and this is the value is dog. So if once a day or every 5 minutes this changes, then this function is going to be triggered. Or if this only changes if the data in the stored component right here is only updated once a day, once every 24 hours, then this callback is triggered when the dropdown changes, right? So let's do that right now. Let's see, this changes every 5 minutes. Let's run this, and we'll show you that the second callback will be activated only when the dropdown value changes. So the callback is going to be activated only when this first input changes, this right here, animal chosen. So you see, it's been 7 seconds. Nothing is updating here. Nothing is updating in the charts. But if I change this, then the charts are being updated and this function, callback, is being activated. But nothing changes here because this will change only every 5 minutes or maybe once a day, depending on how much time you put into it. Okay, so let me stop this. So the value of the dropdown changes. As soon as it changes, this callback is activated. We're taking the data from the stored component, the store component. We're turning it back into a pandas data frame, and then we're building the 5 graphs that we built in the last tutorial: line chart, empirical community distribution, histogram. All these charts, these 5, are built with Plotly Express inside this callback function. If you want to know how to build them or how we're doing this, just click above to see the tutorial from last week, and you'll see how I do all these charts. Lastly, I'm returning all these charts. Again, this is exactly the same as last week. HTML is all this. I'm returning this big list of charts and divs and graphs. I'm returning inside the children of this div. So this is the children of this div. This is right here. Is returning all these graphs, and these graphs are under the children of this div, which is where we put the drop down, where this goes, right here, right here. And these are invisible components. DCC interval and DCC store are invisible components. It doesn't matter where you put them, you're not going to see them on your Dash app. Great. So I hope this made sense to you. If you did and if you benefited from this video, please click on the subscribe button so you can subscribe and turn on your alerts, and so you can get alerted on a weekly basis whenever I do a new video. And also, if you'd like to support this free education that I provide, I'll be grateful to you. Just click on this link, on the Patreon link, and you can join me and see a lot more videos and codes and stuff that I provide regarding Dash and Plotly. All right, summary, the most important thing. The store and the interval are very important components. Store allows you to share information between callbacks or between tabs or between app pages, and the interval is what allows you to trigger a callback every X amount of time. In this case, we're using that to pull information from the API. So this is a lot easier. You don't have to play around with Excel sheets. You don't have to upload, download. Everything connects to the online database. Perfect. So that's it. I ran out of air. I'm a little bit thirsty, so I'm going to grab some water. Thank you for watching. Never give up. Keep practicing, and always remember, we're better together, so help each other out. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.